I'm Bob Woodall, and we're here at Fort Creek Farm, and today we're going to talk about portable watering systems. We have about 80 acres of pasture that we manage intensively here, and we needed to get water to all of those places. We got some cost share money from NRCS and from the State Soil and Water Conservation Group. It was very helpful in jump-starting what we had to do here. The first goal that we had was to fence our cattle out of our streams and ponds in order to protect them. Secondly, we wanted to maximize the number of paddocks we could have for rotational grazing. And at the same time, we wanted to have better manure distribution across our farms and minimize animal impact by cutting down on the distance cows have to travel to get water. We drilled two deep wells about 200 feet each. We have the farm divided into two piping systems. We installed about 10,000 linear feet of pipe and 30 individual watering stations. With those 30 stations, we can create 80 to 100 paddocks for the cows to get water. The beauty of this system is that almost all of it is underground and below grade, so that in the wintertime when you have freezing temperatures, unless they are very, very cold, none of your watering system freezes. We also put our spigots under fences so that tractors don't roll over them and cattle don't step on them. Installation of this piece of equipment is one of the most important parts of the system. Here, for instance, is the underground female part of the watering system. This device here is the male part, and I'll show you how it is put together. You'll notice that we have a galvanized fitting here instead of a plastic fitting, and that's because when you put the male part into the female part, you get a tremendous amount of torque on the system, and if this is plastic, it is likely to break. These lawn sprinkler devices are very handy in developing this system. I'll show you how we put this together. Of course, all of this is underground. The female part is inside the fitting. Ground level is here. When you dig the hole to put it in, you want to put a brick under the galvanized fitting so that when you push down on it with the male part, there is no flex into the soft earth. These things always leak and it'll always be wet in there, and you want something hard to push down on. This top keeps trash out of the whole system. The yellow top also keeps trash out of the system, and it's very important that when you unplug the male fitting that you snap this yellow part down. Here's our portable watering tank, and as you can see in the bottom, there is a float valve and a float. Also attached to the other side of the tank, you can see where our high pressure hose is connected. You can buy these things with the tank, or you can go to a local home improvement store and get a washing machine hose, but it does need to be a heavy duty hose. Let me talk a minute about the male fitting. There's one thing that you're generally not told when you're setting these up, and that is that the male fitting actually comes with pipe threads. And since we're using these with hose threads, you have to get this little adapter to convert from pipe threads to hose threads. The other thing that is extremely important is that you have a filter in this system, because these float valves are very easy to plug up with grit out of your well. You mount this thing with the convex side out, just like you would a washer. Well, there we have it installed. We'll take our hose thread, connect it like this, and depending on how much grit you have in your well, you're ready to go. So here we are at the base of a fence post in a safe spot from traffic, and I'm going to insert the male fitting in the female fitting. Now you see the tank filling up, and eventually when this gets tight, it shuts off the water. Now, we always stay here until the water shuts off, just to make sure that the cutoff is working properly. Ideally, you would set your tank up on level land if you have that opportunity, but sometimes you don't. And if you have to sit it on a slope, as you see here, it's very important that the float and the cutoff be on the downhill side. If this were turned around the opposite way, there would not be enough water pressure on the float to cut off the water flow, and water would just continue to run out. The other important thing to remember is that this valve assembly here needs to be as close to the electric fence as possible. If you have it turned around so that it is out where the cows can step on it, invariably they will, and they'll break these fittings. Cost considerations are paramount here, and we think this is the most economical way to go.